Yeah, hi, my lovely people. I hope everyone is doing fine. Yeah, it's a very sunny day today, and we thank the Lord for for another blessed day and another summer. Yeah. So if you are here, you are in the UK, and then we're experiencing the summer. It's nice out there, so just go out, go and have fun. Yeah, go for a run or a walk or something. Yeah, because it's been a while. Yeah, the summer comes once, so yeah. So first and foremost, thank you to everyone who supported me the video. Yeah, the recent video that I posted, yeah, concerning that Commonwealth applicant who got her application, yeah, a whole lot of things. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it long. Yeah, so you know what happened. Yeah, so the video really went a bit viral, and then I got I got a couple of messages again with the same issue, and then another one was the one I think I got another one. That was a guy who that is a guy who was in training, and unfortunately he's been kicked out from the army. Yeah, he's been kicked out of the army. So on the basis of unfit for army service, that is UFAS. Yeah, so I'm just gonna post the story up there. I'm just hoping it covers. Yeah, so I'm gonna post the story, or try and post the story there, or on trying to do something, but I'm gonna give it a brief. Yeah, so apparently he said one of his section commander, yeah, I don't want to mention the section commander's name, but everything happened in ATR Winchester. Yeah, ATR Winchester. Yeah, which is in Winchester, yeah, Army Training Regiment, which is in Winchester. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention the company's name, and I'll put everything up there, so you can just read it for yourself. Yeah. So apparently he said that he was facing bullying and then victimization from the from his chain of command, particularly that section commander. Yeah. Of which he was afraid, he was scared to to go forward, to tell his chain of command. He was very, very scared to tell his chain of command that this is what is going on, because he felt that if he says this, if he goes to tell them that the same thing is gonna happen, like they're gonna pick up on him, and then it's gonna make his life very, very, very tough in training. And unfortunately for him, he's been discharged. Yeah, he's been discharged. And then what really, really happened was yeah, sorry, I'm just it's very dry today, so yeah, as I keep on licking my mouth here, so in my lips. Yeah, so he said it's everything happened when they went to BC1, which is battle camp. Yeah, I think the exercise. Yeah. So he said the section commander keeps on picking up on him, and then telling him a whole lot of things, that he's stupid, he's excuse my language, he's a cunt, he's a waste of oxygen, and then he should file for a DAOR, that is a discharge of right, and then he doesn't want to see him in camp again, like which is really, really unprofessional of him. Yeah, all because he was giving him something. He said the guy mentioned a couple of points. He said first one was, he said he was giving him something, and then he, instead of, the thing was in his left hand, so like out of respect, he switched it to his right hand, and then he gave it to him. And then he said the section commander, the corporal was, I know his name, and then I don't want to mention the name here. Yeah, so he said he gave it to that corporal, and then that corporal, how do you call it, became upset, and he said he was talking to him, and then he smiled, like someone is talking to you, and then you don't want to show a phone face like that, and you just want to smile to the person, for the person to acknowledge that you are taking the thing in good faith. But He said the corporal started, bashing him left and right, and then telling him a whole lot of the waste of, oxygen, and then everything, which is really, really bad. Yeah, which is really bad, which is very unprofessional of him. But there's nothing he was able to he could do. So he just kept it to himself, and then he was there one day, and they sent him they sent him a letter that he's been discharged from the army. So right now he's he was on a graduate visa when he started the army, but when he got discharged, the graduate visa has also been cut out. But fortunately enough, when he contacted me, I gave him a couple of points and then told him what to do. And then fortunately enough, yesterday he sent me a message. Last night he sent me a message that they've reinstated his graduate visa, which expires next year. So meaning after next year, what is he gonna do? You see. So this whole issue, I think it is time the army really step on, because there's something called opt-in work in the army that we do it every year, which is very, very good. Which is a very good initiative. But some of the sections, some of the chain of command, I use the word quote and unquote. I'm not saying all of them. Some of them, they don't really take it serious. You just spit it out. You just spit out your consent and then your grievances. Oh, okay, you work on it, don't worry. So what is it again? That's it. After that, that's it. At the end of the day, they're not going to do anything about it. They'll just brush it off the carpet. They'll just brush it under the carpet. Then that's it. They're not going to do anything about it, which is very, 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 very sad. It's very sad because people are really, really crying within them. People are really suffering within them. I used to be one of them, yeah, but everyone has his or her own ways of dealing with issues. Me, I see it as what, fuck it. After all, I'm not here for them. I'm here to do my job, and I'm here to pursue my life ambition, my dream. So I just let it go. Yeah, I just let it go. So that was what the guy was saying. So I'll pop everything on top, and then I'm hoping it gets to the higher authorities. But guys, please, if you are in the army and then something is wrong with you, you feel that you've been penalized, you feel that you've been bullied, you are being bullied, you feel that you are being victimized, please do not keep quiet. Fight for yourself. You really have to fight for yourself, because nobody's going to fight for you. Yeah, nobody's going to fight for you. To be honest, no one will fight for you. You have to fight your own battles. Yeah, life is full of challenges. Life is full of ups and downs. So if you see that you need to speak up, you need to follow the hierarchy. First, report it to your platoon sergeant. If your platoon sergeant does nothing about it, you go straight to your platoon commander. You talk to your platoon commander, because if you go straight to your platoon commander will tell you, have you discussed it with your platoon sergeant? And they say, yeah, I have discussed it with him. Okay, then why is it still not done? So what does it tell me? You tell him, and then he says, okay, fine. But if he also doesn't do anything about it, which I doubt, but sometimes they don't do anything about it, go straight to your CSM. Go straight to your company sergeant major. Talk to him. Tell him that this is what is going on. You don't like it. You are not happy. Mentally, you are not okay. You are not okay with what that guy is. Either they can either give you a transfer. They can transfer you to another, battalion. That is another unit, or maybe another platoon, or another company. Yeah. If your CSM doesn't do anything about it, you can schedule a meeting with your OC, your company commander, that's your office commanding. Yeah. You schedule a meeting with him, tell him or her that this is what is going on. If they are doing nothing about it, take it to the higher chain. Yeah, they can't do anything. You just tell them, yeah, I've gone through all the hierarchy, but no one. But it looks like the person is still doing the same thing. So you know what? I want to push the case forward. I want to file a service complaint, and they can never stop you. No chain of command can stop you from filing a service complaint against against anyone, even against the platoon commander. You can file a service complaint against him when you think he's bullying you, he's been victimizing you. Yeah, I face the same thing. Me personally, I face the same thing. The person, he knows himself. It happened in Germany. I reported it, nothing was done about it. They just, up and down, and then I just forgot about it. I just, me mentally, I am this kind of person who can, just overlook things. I just talk, and then that's it. But not everyone is as strong as I am. Mentally is as strong as I am to be able to, sometimes just, let things go. You see? But it's very, very sad. I'm just hoping something is done about it, because mentally the guy is not okay. He keeps telling me that he's not okay, and he really wish he could get his job back. That is what he's saying. He really wish he could get his job back. So I am really hoping that the army, I'm gonna tag the army. I'm gonna tag them on this. I'm gonna tag them on this video, both army jobs and then the British Army itself. At least for them to know that this is what is really going on. It's not good at all. It is not good at all. It's time I don't know whether they will be able to set up a sting operation or something. Yeah, to investigate, sting operation investigation, to investigate this thing, because it is really, really, really going on. People don't talk about it. They will say they are not happy, and then once they serve their minimum term, they want to leave. They want to leave the army, and then once they leave the army, they see it like a burden is off the, like something is off their head. Yeah, it is very sad. The army is there, yes. For the army, if you are not mentally fit, you can't join the army. If you are not mentally fit, you can never. Yeah, you can never join it. If you can't overlook certain things, you can never join the army. But that doesn't mean that people should take all these things for granted and then, start, doing things which is not professionally, which is not professionally, valid. It's very sad. It is very, 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 very sad. The guy told me his story, and then I was like, I've gone through the same thing. I didn't tell him that, but I said to myself that, I went through the same thing in training. And me, sometimes mine was even worse, because my section commander, he used, BFA to hit on my chest. Lucky was that I was wearing a body armor, and then there were plates inside the body armor. Yeah, it was final exercise. So I think it was, final X. It wasn't final X. It wasn't final X. It was, I think, phase 1. I think it was infantry or phase 1. That is what, intro X2. And then we were doing, this. We were tabbing. We were patrolling from the harbor area to camp. Those who know Catterick very well, HLS, that big HLS, that place we're going. I think we were running down, and then I was holding I've got rifle, I've got loads at my back, so we were all running, and then like I think some of us swerved, so we were swerving, and then he just walked straight to me, and then he started planting, just saying a whole lot of curse words. The army is normal, and then he used his rifle. He used his rifle to just hit on my chest like that, and then it was although there were body armor plates inside, but it was very, at least I felt the pain. But well, we are soldiers, so yeah. So I just I lucky was that when we went back to camp, he saw that what he did wasn't good, because he realized from my facial expression, and then he just called me to the office, and then I think he was my section commander, so I think we were doing assessment. It was intro X3, the exercise that you do before you pass, the exercise that you do before you go to phase 2. Yeah, that final exercise, that final phase 1 exercise. Yeah. So he called me, and then he was like, blah blah blah, and this is what is happening. And then I'm so sorry I hit you with my with my BFE, because the tension was and then he apologized. He really, I saw from his face that he was sorry. So I said, okay, it's fine, Corporal, it's fine. And then he said, okay. And then he shook my hand and then said, is that written here? And I said, yeah, it's fine, Corporal. Then that's it. You see, when the person sees that what he did was wrong, and then he comes to apologize, then that's it. You should forgive him. Yeah, you should just let it go because he knows more than you. Perhaps maybe he's been on the battlefield and then he knows more. He's been on the real life battlefield, Afghanistan or or Iraq or somewhere. Yeah. So at least sometimes we give them the benefit of the doubt, but that doesn't mean that he or she should go to the extent of go to the extreme, yeah, of doing that. The guy was just showing his appreciation. He was just showing his his a way of respect. Yeah, in our culture, we don't give elderly people something with your left hand. That is not done. Well, they say when you go to Rome, do what the Romans do, but I think sometimes it just happened involuntarily. Yeah, which has happened before. The other day, my section commander was talking to me. My I think it was LFTT, and then it was and then we were talking, and then I said, I think I did something wrong. I think I was, yeah, I am. My rifle. I think I was holding my rifle with just my one hand, and then he said, "Adai, you need to hold the rifle with 2 hands." So he was just drawing my attention. I said, "Corporal, I forgot him." So why are you kissing your teeth? I said, "Oh, sorry, Corporal, not that, because it's something that happens to we are Ghanaians." And so, oh yeah, okay, it's fine. Because I can't remember when I go deployed to Nigeria, one guy did the same thing, and yeah. So sometimes it does happen, but it doesn't give them the opportunity to talk to us, and then talk to people the way they normally to the extent of telling him he's a waste of oxygen, and then you want him to file for a DAOR. No commander has the right to tell you that you need to file for a DAOR. No. It's like your boss telling you that you need to quit your job. No. He has no right. He's not the one who employed you. Yeah. He's not the one. He's also employed by the army. So he can't tell you to DAOR. Not even your OC can tell you that. Not even your commanding officer, not even your CEO or the brigadier can tell you that. No. Nobody can tell you that. It is your own personal choice, which you say, okay, yeah, I'm done. I can't do the training, so let me file for DOR, then I leave. That's it, done. You see, so please, I will be very much appreciated if something is really done about it, because right now the guy wants his job back, but he doesn't know how to go about it, because he's been contacting lots of higher authorities, but nothing has been done about it. I told him that did you went to see your welfare officer? He said yes, he went to see his welfare officer, which was the right thing, but he said the corporal has already gone there to destroy him to the welfare officer. So when he went there, the welfare officer that wasn't even welcoming. Yeah, but guys, I will tell you, I think I have 1 minute now, guys. I will tell you this. Please, you are in training, and you are being trained. You are transferring from a civilian to a soldier, and being a soldier, it is always do before complain. That's it. You don't have you have to do it before you complain. If your section commander tells you that, yo, I need you to go into the prone, like be in a prone position now, you have to do it. Get into the prone position, do whatever that he's telling you to do, for him to be happy. Then you come back, and then if you have any question, you just complain that, why did you let me do that? Understand? Yeah, that is how it's done. So he said the section commander was also upset, and then he was calling him a whole lot of names because he left his gloves in his basha, of which it was a very bad thing for him to do. For this one, I'm not going to favor favor the guy, because you always have to be switched on. Well, the way the section commander talked to him wasn't right. At least you should have given him some sort of punishment, maybe do some press ups, or maybe go for a sprint or something, or punish him, or let him do a bit of some battlefield drills or something. Then After that, you just ask him, just tell him that go and take your, yeah. Please, you always have to be switched on. When they tell you to do something, you do it. When the orders comes that you know we are going for an attack. If they tell you that you are going for an attack, you know that in your brain, you know that you need your full C4, your full combat effective fighting order. You need your body armor, you need your weapon, you need your boots, you need your helmet, you need your ear defense, because if you fire, yeah, you need your ear defenses, you need what do you call it, your gloves. And then if it is FIWAF, that is fighting in woodlands and forests, you need your eye protection. Or if it is FIBUA, fighting in built up areas, you need all these things. You packed all of them. Normally, what I do is I put my gloves. It is always in my map pocket. It's something like this. You see, it is always there. So I'll never forget. Once they tell me where is your gloves? Otherwise your gloves. Oh yeah, Corporal, this is it. Okay, waterproofed. Everything in the army has to be all your kit has to be waterproof, proofed. Yeah. So the guy made a mistake by not bringing his by forgetting a kit in your basha, meaning that it is there. It not that it's in your bergan or something. It's in your basha. So if something happens right now, like let's say it's cold, and then you need the gloves. If you got cold injury, he has to sit in his office and then file a whole lot of incident report, which is very tormenting. Yeah. So sometimes it is our fault, but at least the section commander had a way of, because you the section commander, you've gone for your junior's course, and then you know how to deal with things professionally, how to punish someone professionally. So you don't go to the extent of telling the person that it's a waste of oxygen, he needs to file a DAOR. Are you kidding me? It's, yeah. So I'm just hoping something is done about it. Yeah. So guys, that is it. Yeah. So thank you very much. And if you are watching this, please kindly share it till it gets to the higher authorities for them to know. At least they should try and do something about it. ATR Winchester. That is what he told me. Yeah. Me myself, I've experienced it. I experienced this in Catterick multiple times, even in my battalion. Multiple times. There's this one guy, I don't want to mention the name. Those in Poachers B Company knows that guy. Yeah. Multiple of them. My current the platoon sergeant who just recently left for a new one was also the same thing. It's I don't know how to say this thing. I don't know how to say this thing. Yeah, so I just hope something is done about it, and then the guy gets his job back, and then because he said all he wants to do is serve, just like us. Me, has always been my life ambition to serve, and then serve in the army, and then God being so good, British Army gave me the opportunity, which my country wasn't able to give me. Yeah, my country failed to do that, because they told me to pay money before they can, they can enlist me. Of which me, British Army, I always appreciate everything that they've done. They've changed my life. They've made my life better. British Army has made my life better. I will never say who was I to own a car, who was I to, yeah, there are lots of things. Yeah, so guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Yeah, sorry for, yeah, I think it's dry today, so yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.